So welcome to Bang Average Gaming's first ever gaming report. Yes, it is about time. So today we bring you Fallout Wasteland Warfare, a multi-part campaign that Elliot and I shall be playing together, both from different perspectives, but you'll find out more about that in the intro cinematic. So the interesting thing about this game is there is a way to play kind of single player with various dice rolls. You're able to control the enemy AI and your own troops in quite a fairly balanced way. So during this game, I was doing all the camera work and looking at rules, etc. And Elliot was the one controlling the settlers. I shall be controlling in the future the opposing faction, who is yet to be revealed. But it's a very fun game, very much enjoy it. For those of you that are very familiar with the game, we just ask that you be kind to us, as this was our first major kind of foray into the game. A few times we point out that there are a few mistakes in the rules here, a few missed dice checks here, there, that kind of thing. So you eagle-eyed and experienced players will notice a number of mistakes during the game, but we tried our best to interpret the game as it should be played, and I feel like we have played in quite a fair manner. The idea of these battle reports is to get a quick, short, sharp game in and just get straight into the action, so hopefully we have achieved that. I shall now leave you alone to watch the battle report. Please enjoy. Vault 25 was one of the rare control vaults focused on releasing its inhabitants in due time to reform the wasteland to its former glory. So far, none had been released into this perilous new world. On occasion, the vault was forced to open to exchange with local traders, but now their hand has been forced. In a familiar turn of events, the vault's water purification chip has been found to be faulty and requires either a replacement or someone with specialist niche training to fix the current one. The vault currently has neither, despite its efforts. Lucy has been selected to venture out, being the most resourceful of the vault's population and the most likely to succeed. Fortunately, she's not entirely alone. The self-proclaimed leader of the tunnel snakes, known as Butch, has been instructed to accompany her, due to him spectacularly botching the overseer's haircut. They have 3 months to resolve the issue. Success will save the vault, and failure will doom it. As they walk towards the local settlement, their pit boys pick up a signal offering shelter and supplies. As they get closer, they hear gunshots. Approaching, they see a body of a trader with bullet holes in their back, as if they were running away from the promised shelter. It's a trap. They decide they cannot in good conscience ignore this threat and must shut down the transmission and deal with those responsible. In the distance, a group of raiders can be seen, taking shelter in the Red Rocket station, with a sniper posted on the roof as overwatch. Around them can be seen the corpses of various traders and denizens of the wastes. Then we come to a group of survivors who have unfortunately been caught in the trap. Most have been able to make it to cover and attempt to fight for their lives. Turn 1 comes to Lucy, who does a move just to get a little bit further up the board. The psycho outlaw emerges from his hiding space and also advances up the board behind cover. Next we have Butch, who also does a double movement to get further up the board but take cover behind some nearby barriers. A wrench-wielding psycho decides to move up the board and play the objective. He advances on the nearby object and interacts with it. After flipping, he reveals a locked but trapped item box, who can be lockpicked to retrieve an item later. At the back of the field, a settler armed with a pipe rifle takes aim on that psycho. The raider fails his save and takes 2 points of damage on the first hit. She then rolls to shoot again, hits again, resulting in another 2 damage and killing the raider in 2 shots. We did miscalculate the damage at this point, but who cares, it's a raider. He's not going to be missed by anybody. The Scaver Outlaw falls back and attempts a perception check on the marker at the back to determine what it is. Unfortunately, he fails. It's time for Best Boy Dogmeat to get into the fight. He takes a heroic charge up the board. He gets into combat with the Psycho Outlaw and goes for a dog bite attack. After another slight misunderstanding with dice, Dogmeat heroically manages to take out the raider with a single dog bite. That's maybe us being a bit generous, but who cares, it's Dogmeat. He's a good boy. The next raider decides to go for a double move just to get a little bit further up the board and start to bear down on the survivors. Next it's time for the gunslinging ghoul. He does a double move, moves up to the nearest item and flips it, unfortunately revealing absolutely nothing. Raider Avery then advances up the board behind cover, joining one of their allies. Next up, a brave settler scavenger moves just around the barricade to aim down the sights at the nearest raider. Unfortunately, rolls a critical fail and no damage is done. The raider outlaw sets his sights on Dogmeat with a bolt action pipe pistol. He does manage to hit, however, Dogmeat manages the save, which means he takes no damage. Takes another shot at Dogmeat, this time scoring a hit and an extra damage. We didn't record Dogmeat's save, however, he only takes 1 damage due to his faction bonus armour. The scaver on the roof, armed with a bolt action pipe rifle, aims at Dogmeat and fires, goes a hit, followed by a bonus damage. Dogmeat should have only taken 1 damage here, we made another slight mistake, but believe me, we get better as we go on. The same scaver on the roof with the pipe rifle then takes aim at the ghoul, successfully hits, but only manages to cause 1 wound thanks to a good armour save. St. John then takes aim at Dogmeat with his silenced pipe revolver, the first hit being a critical fail. He then rolls another attack against Dogmeat, just about hitting with an 8. This time, Dogmeat fails the armour save with 3, with his bonus faction armour absorbing 1 of the hits, so Dogmeat takes 1 additional damage. We begin round 2 with advantage to the raiders, and we start off with St. John. He starts off by targeting Dogmeat with his silenced pipe revolver. He rolls an 8, just about hitting Dogmeat with an extra damage. Unfortunately, Dogmeat rolls a 4, which is not enough to block the damage. However, 1 of his super armors diminishes and he only takes 1 wound from the first shot. St. John then carries out a perception check on the objective behind him. After successfully passing, he reveals that it is in fact an item. We then make an accidental faux pas upon St. John's improvise action. We read it as, on activation, ready 1 unready non-unique friendly model. However, it should have just taken quick action, but it didn't really change much in the big picture of things. Scaver Outlaw chooses to pick up the item and then move forwards. We then move over to the ghoul, who then takes aim at the Scaver Outlaw who's just made himself visible. He rolls to take a first shot, but unfortunately misses. He then steals himself, takes a second shot, and unfortunately misses again, gaining only a quick action. Next up is Raider Avery, who then moves forwards as a first action, and as the second action, attempts to lockpick the objective in front. Rolling a 4, she successfully does so, and manages to retrieve an item. Unfortunately, it's just a pipe pistol. Butch then activates, moving from behind the barricade, behind the barrels. He takes aim at the outlaw scaver and takes a shot with his 10mm pistol. Unfortunately, with a 9, he fumbles the roll and it isn't enough for the shot to go through, even with the -4 making it a 5. The Raider Outlaw then sets his sights on Dogmeat. The first shot fortunately misses, however the second one does connect. Once again, forgetting to record Dogmeat's save, the attack just trips off 1 of his 2 armour he gets every single turn. Then we go for Lucy's turn. She steps up and moves behind the barrier with a clear shot at the Scaver Outlaw with a shotgun. She takes a shot with a 10mm pistol, but unfortunately misses. The Scaver with the machete and pistol then carries on the bullying crusade of Dogmeat, and unfortunately is able to hit him with a shot. Unfortunately, Dogmeat's armour roll is not good enough to keep back all of the damage, and unfortunately he is knocked out of action. The Settler, armed with a bolt-action pipe rifle, moves out from cover behind the house to the wall and aims her sights at St. John. She fires, scoring a critical hit with no extra damage. St. John rolls a 1, blocking 1 point of damage, but also taking 1 point of damage too. The Raider then takes aim at the Scavenger behind the spiky barricade and manages to critically hit with a total of 3 damage. However, the Scavenger manages to block 2 of them, receiving only 1 point of damage. He then shoots again, hits again, but now due to the Scavenger's armour and the barricade providing 1 point of armour too, she rolls a 3, so no damage is taken on the second hit. The Scavenger then enacts some vengeance on the Raider that does shot her, overall managing to score not only a critical hit but 3 bonus damage for a total of 5. The Raider, only having 1 armour, rolls a 1, however the 4 damage that go through is enough to kill him in 1 single shot. Well done, Scavenger. To round off her amazing turn, the Scavenger then carries out an intelligence 7 check on the objective nearby to try and reveal what it is. Amazingly, she rolls exactly what she needs and reveals that that objective is in fact an item they can possibly salvage later. As we head into turn 3, we start with the Tunnel Snake himself. Butch, being the brave soldier he is, takes a charge. Running at the Scaver Outlaw, switchblade in hand, he gains himself a black die for a bonus due to the wounding ability on his card. After a great roll of a 2, he scores bonus damage and also a nuka bottle, which allowing him to ignore armour. This allows the 3 damage to go straight through. Next up for the raiders, we have Sinjin, who elects to shoot into this melee at the risk of hitting his own ally. When Sinjin takes the attack, it was a reaction at a -2, but due to there being a +2 for the size of the melee. He manages to roll a crit, as well as 2 bonus damage, on top of the +3 damage for the crit itself. We decided on a roll of 1 to 3, the attack would hit Butch, on a 2 to 4, it would hit his ally, and would you know, we rolled a 2. Which meant it hit the raider who's currently in melee contact with Butch. With no way of saving, the raider is immediately shot in the back and dies at the hand of his own ally. He then proceeds to take 2 shots at Butch, each hitting and Butch saving once each time, but he takes no damage due to his faction bonus armour absorbing the other hit, so he takes no wounds from both shots that hit from Sinjin. Butch then attempts a massive -4 reaction shot at Sinjin but fails. This is due to the -2 from the quick action and the -2 for the cover which Sinjin is stood behind. The scav on the roof then decides that Butch makes a tempting target and attempts his first shot, which ends in a critical fail. The second shot, however, is a little bit more successful, and Butch rolls a 3 on the save, which meaning all the damage goes through, as his faction specific bonus armour has all been stripped away at this point. Butch takes 2 points of damage. It's now time for the gunslinging ghoul. He takes aim at Avery. The first shot unfortunately misses, however the second shot hits with a critical, and a black reroll even does some extra damage. Avery fails the armour save and takes a total of 3 points of damage. Avery then uses this opportunity to fire back at the ghoul in retaliation. The first shot hits with a bonus damage dice, but the ghoul makes a 2 armour save. His bonus armour due to the faction ability then absorbs the third one, so he takes no damage. The same happens again with Avery shooting at the ghoul despite the cover. The ghoul unfortunately only has 1 bonus armour for this game as he's not yet a character, so when he rolls a 3 on this armour save, all the damage goes through, in this case is 2, putting him at a total of 3 health points lost. To finish off their little duel, the ghoul uses its reaction to then target Avery, managing to roll a crit and a bonus damage dice, as well as an armour break, ensuring that Avery takes a dirt nap for the rest of the game. Next up, we activate the scavenger, who decides to move around the barrier and pick up the item that is nearby. The item picked up is a capsule, a nice little reward. Then she decides to move a little bit further up the field, chasing the next objective, potentially unlocking that box on the next turn. The Raider Outlaw, after seeing his ally killed, decides to advance forwards onto the ghoul and take a shot. Unfortunately, he's not very good with firearms and the shot goes wild and misses the ghoul completely. The settler sniper at the back with a bolt action pipe rifle then lays her eyes on Sinjin once more. She fires a shot and hits. Sinjin unfortunately rolls a 4 for his armour save, so 2 points of damage go through on the first shot. Quite an impressive feat considering he's behind cover. Unbelievably, she manages to hit him again and rolling an extra damage dice. Unfortunately, Sinjin rolls a 2 on his armour, so he only takes 1 point of damage from this second attack. This leaves him on a total of 4 health points lost. Lucy then continues her cautious advance up the field and moves up to the nearest item within sight. Once she gets into base-to-base contact, she's able to flip the item and reveal a pheromone emitter. The start of turn 4 will begin with the Raider advantage and Sinjin is up first. Not liking how the situation is starting to look, he takes a double move backwards towards the edge of the board, possibly looking to retreat. Continuing his switchblade rampage, Butch takes a single move and the charge action all the way up the board, making it into base-to-base contact with St. John. He cannot attack this turn, but he does generate a bonus dice for when he eventually attacks on his next activation. Next, the Raider Outlaw, facing down the Ghoul, decides that things are looking a little bit dicey and falls back to support his boss, taking a single move and a charge action to get into base-to-base contact with Butch. The Scavenger then moves up to the nearby lockbox, continuing her spree of collecting items. She manages to roll a 6, which is a successful lockpick with no danger card. This is the item previously marked by the snack card event card, so she gains a bonus Nuka-Cola bottle, as well as an armor-piercing receiver, a very useful weapon mod that will come handy in the future, I'm sure. The Scaver Raider on the roof continues to snipe a battle against the Settler, managing to hit with his bolt-action pipe rifle. She unfortunately rolls a 3 on her armor save, taking 2 damage. However, one of her bonus faction armors does absorb 1 point of damage, meaning she only takes 2. Lucy then attempts an intelligence check to observe the nearby objective marker. She succeeds and flips it over, revealing nothing. She then advances a little bit further up the board, heading behind Butch and the other 2 raiders. The Settler then attempts to get some revenge on the raider with the roof. She successfully hits with the first shot, however the raider rolls a 2. Combined with his base armor of 1 and cover of 2, no damage goes through. The second shot completely whiffs and she unfortunately misses. Having no visible targets in range, the Ghoul then decides to take a double move just to take cover down behind the barrels. And that brings us to the end of turn 4. And now we move on to turn 5, which is the final turn of the game. This time the Raiders have advantage, and we start with the Raider Outlaw standing behind Butch. Please note, we did forget the bonus green damage for the outnumbered bonus. We did roll them later. They only equaled to a -2 and a -1, so it didn't make any difference to this Raider's turn. First attack, the Raider hits with 2 -1s and a bonus damage. However, Butch heroically saves, rolling a 1, but his bonus faction armor absorbs the other point of damage, meaning he receives no damage in return. The Raider rolls again, hits again with a single armor break. However, Butch manages to save. Butch rolls another 1, but uses his last point of faction armor to absorb that second point of damage, again taking no damage from the Raider with the machete. Unlucky. Then it's Butch's time to shine. Switchblade in hand, he takes an attack at St. John and misses. He then gets ready, attacks again, and misses again. Maybe all this Tunnel Snake glory's been going to his head, I'm not sure. Then we go to St. John, who uses this opportunity to get out of dodge. Normally, if he were to retreat, Butch would get a bonus attack at a -2 against him. However, because Butch is outnumbered, he does not get this opportunity to attack, so St. John is free to lead the combat and free to lead the game board, perhaps to return another day. The Scavenger then continues on her mission of taking every single item on the board, successfully rolling a 7 to unlock the strongbox. Inside is a welded plate. Not super useful, but maybe it can be traded, sold, or used later. The Raider Sniper, who's been sat on the Red Rocket Station this entire time, doesn't like how things are looking now his boss has left, so he decides to take a double move and then carefully climb down off the roof. He also leaves the board. Maybe he'll also appear later alongside his boss in a future match. The Ghoul then goes for 2 shots against the Raider in the back, currently engaged with Butch, risking a little bit of friendly fire. Unfortunately, it's been a long day for the Ghoul, and both shots fail to connect, ending his final turn. Lucy then continues her leisurely stroll up the board and walks up to one of the items dropped by the Brahmin. She flips it over to reveal a cutthroat outfit, a possibly useful item for any melee fighter. And there we have it. The survivors manage to drive the raiders out of their position at the Red Rocket Station, take a number of supplies for themselves, and find a place they can call home, at least for the meantime. St. John and his trusty sniper did manage to flee, possibly to lick their wounds and to come back for round 2 at a later date. The survivors fought well and deserve a break, but there was always trouble out there in the Wasteland. And there we have it. The battle report is done and dusted. The survivors were successful in their mission at getting rid of the raiders and taking over the Red Rocket, with the potential of turning it into their home base. I really hope you all enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed playing it. I did not enjoy editing it, it was quite a pain, but if this video does well, we would very much like to make a series out of it overall. Thinking maybe even 10 to 12 games if it's what people want. From Bang Average Gaming, we'd like to say a huge thank you for tuning into this battle report, and if you have any suggestions on the editing style, the play style, or anything about Fallout Wasteland in general, please let us know in the comments below. But until next time, have a good one, and goodbye for now.